Yo, what's up? What's
going
up?
on?
How you doing, man?
Sup?
Pedro.
Hey guys, everyone, welcome Pedro. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for coming. I am watching Pedro, by the way. I'm doing some chats, but I am here. I'm here with you. I'm not disrespecting the story. You know what I'm saying? I'm here.
I like it, man. I like the go-to fit you have going on there.
It is very
That's
nice. Hey, let's introduce you real quick, Pedro. So we had an old episode, this is like 4 months ago or something, where we talked about Chandler Bolt and the self-publishing school, okay? We talked about this with one of the people who took their courses, was very unhappy, felt like she was ripped off, scammed. She came on, she talked about it, gave us her perspective. Pedro, you reached out to us and you told me, I work for this company. I think they're the greatest company in the world, I want to come present my case. I'm always happy to hear from other people. Now, you know probably how I feel. If you watch any of my show, you know kind of how I feel about like really expensive courses and how much value they can have to somebody. But I'd love to hear your perspective. Let's go.
Yeah, 100%, man. By the way, first of all, congrats on 300K. Like, I'm actually a big fan of the channel and what you're doing. And like, I truly think it comes from like an awesome place. Like, I truly believe that like there's a lot of people, you know, out there that, you know, do take advantage of folks that are looking for a new opportunity and make things seem like way easier than they actually are, right? And I'm not a big fan of that as well. When it comes to self-publishing school, and specifically when it comes to Paula, right? I think did an awesome job, especially as of late, of like reconnecting with her. Like, if you can see, like, she took down a lot of the review posts that she had, and like I think she had a couple Reddit thread or something like that. And so I think that, you know, yes, she may have had a negative experience. I do think that at least on our end, we have done, I think, a great job of just like rekindling that, right, and trying to make that right. In terms of self-publishing,
Well, I think you guys refunded her, right? That's what you did.
Yeah, I think so. But we also, like, more so than refunding, like, you can refund someone and I think still leave them with a bad taste in their mouth. I do think that we tried, like, our team reached out, had an awesome conversation with her.
If Paula's here, give us a shout in the comments. I wonder how she would, not to be so whatever. I wonder
is she in chat? Is she in chat right now?
I wonder if she's in chat, but we'll send this to her. Yeah, no, and dude, that's amazing. If you can pull someone back, that's the real testimonial. Is where you're like, hey, this person called us a scam. We talked, we figured out, and you know,
totally, 100%, man.
Okay, then, so yeah, sure.
So so in terms of like what we actually do and like how I think it's a little bit different from others is just on the fact that, you know, writing a book as a whole, right? Like, there's different options out there to do it. You can, you know, Amazon has made a process fairly simple, right? So you can certainly go out, look at YouTube videos, look at, you know, free blog posts and do the process on your own, 100%, right? You can also go through a traditional publisher, right? That is another option. Sure. We like to be the people whom you go to when you need a few different things. Number one, you need accountability, right? So we are a course. Like, I think calling us a course is incorrect. So like, we have 7 full-time one-on-one like coaches that do one-on-one coaching calls, right? Just like if you you can go to the gym by yourself and work out on your own, but if you hire a personal trainer, right, the likelihood that you're going to lose weight and achieve the health goals that you have just, you know, are much higher, right? Same thing with us. So we have coaching, one-on-one coaching within that. We have every single day workshops for different parts of the process. We have, like, at the beginning, a thing called the Write Your Book Accelerator. And then at the end, we have a Launch Your Book Accelerator. So like, we have a lot of resources, which, you know, feels to me that, you know, allows us to charge a little bit of the higher price point that.
Well, I think a lot of your courses are between $4,000 to $7,000, right? In the $4,000 to $7,000 range.
Yeah. So
And what I think about, I mean, I hear you on like oh, we're like an accountability thing. Like, if they pay us $5,000, maybe they'll feel like they need to write their book and like we'll call them or whatever. But what I see is that, look, all this information is like kind of all out there and it seems kind of obvious. You eventually, anyone can self-publish a book. It doesn't cost you any money. And it seems like if your target audience is like new writers and you're saying like, oh, have a bestseller. Well, we know, you and I know, that it's very easy to get a bestseller nowadays. It's basically meaningless to get a bestseller. So it's kind of like this weird thing where I think people think they're going to get one thing and they actually get another thing. And it's like, how much can you really, when people are writing their own book, right? They have to write it. You can't make them a great writer. So like, what are you doing besides being like telling them what they could get from Chandler Bolt's like $10 book? I mean, what like different are you getting?
It sounds like a little gaming the Amazon system a little bit. Is there a little bit of that too, or is that?
Yeah. So a couple things, right? Like, I would need to see exactly like the marketing materials and stuff that like really highlight the bestseller stuff. Like for me, and the thing that we're trying, and we're always tweaking our marketing messages, we're always tweaking our sales messages. Right now, like we truly believe that the goal is to help ordinary people accomplish what I believe is still, you know, even though it's easier than in the past, accomplish an extraordinary thing, which is to write and publish a book, right? And in terms of like the information, like a lot of things seem obvious, like 100%, right? Like there is, in terms of the actual information, right? Like the how-to of stuff, you can spend a lot of time on Google and figure that out, right? And you can set, you know, put a time on your calendar, wake up and tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna, you know, wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm gonna write 1,000 words per day for the next 30 days, 30,000 words, that's gonna be my book, right? Just like I think you can decide that you're gonna lose 20 pounds, right? And go to the gym every morning. Well, if you don't have accountability and if you don't have a community, the likelihood of doing that is much harder, right? And so,
but at the gym, they don't charge you $7,000 for coaching, right? Like, and the price point is what really kind of turns me off, because you're talking about people who are already limited on cash, right? Like if you're looking for a writing career, if you're looking for something where you're in a creative career, you're gonna be low on cash. So to take those people and say like, I can sort of shortcut your way to success, it seems to me sort of predatory. I mean, why not do like, hey, we're gonna have an $100 coaching call, right? And you see if you like us, you see if we're helpful, whatever, rather than what's this $7,000 up front? I mean, that's a lot of people's entire cash, and they think, oh, these guys are going to shortcut my way to success. That's what Paula was saying, and she's like, they just ended up giving me a bunch of free advice that like Chandler Bolt already told me in his book, but then, I don't understand why this is worth it. What's the deal there?
So by the way, Coffee, so most people, like $4,000 is what most people that join our programs pay, right? Like I know if you go back to the video with Paula, like she paid $4,000 for a Become a Bestseller program. But you don't,
you don't need $4,000 to become a bestseller. So like you guys are these middlemen that I don't understand. Like, why is it so expensive? If you want to be a middleman, can you do it in a way that doesn't charge such an upfront fee and can demonstrate your value on the way? What's this like $4,000 upfront? It seems crazy. And what if, and then also like, I hate to do this, like, who are you guys to be the authorities on this? Like, what have you done? I mean, and I mean that in a nice way. Like, if you're gonna get trained by Arnold Schwarzenegger and it's like he's your personal trainer, $7,000, I kind of get it. I think you're more paying for the celebrity, but it's like, okay, that's fine. Do you guys like having Stephen King teach you how to write a book? What's the thing here?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. And I think that like you should learn from people that have done what you're looking to do, like 100%.
Yeah.
So in terms of like Chandler Bolt, right? So by the way, it is his real name. I don't have the birth certificate, but like he comes from the Bolt family. I know it's kind of crazy, but like that is his real name.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
So he wrote, I know you said if you look on Amazon, you know, you'll see the book published, you'll see the book launch. Like those are books that he wrote like much after the initial books that he first wrote that kind of got this whole thing started. So the first book that he wrote was called A Productive Person, right? That, you know, was able to pay his bills after he dropped out of school and tried starting his own business, right? It's from a lot of things that he learned by running multiple businesses in college and being a college student, etc. Right? So that book did really well. He wrote another book called Breaking Out of a Broken System, where all of the profits went to charity. Awesome book, basically about the principles that he learned. Him and his brother learned from their parents, I think it's a really awesome story as well. And the thing that happened is like a lot of people came to him and were like, hey, dude, like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you writing? How are you doing this book thing? Like, how are you getting your cover designs? Like, how are you writing them so quickly? Like, how are you selling them? And so someone can only, keep knocking on your door so many times until you answer. And so that's kind of what led to self-publishing school and the creation of it. Now, however, we have, like I mentioned before, 6 or 7 full-time book coaches. And what those coaches are is they actually write and publish books on their own, right? They make a really good living doing that themselves. And they just happen to also be coaches that are helping students get through the finish line as well.
But we're finding a lot of people, they say that the money is actually in the course. A lot of people are saying that they teach a thing and then they charge people $7,000 to learn the thing. So is are these real books we're talking? Like, what are can we get an example of these books? Is it something that we've heard of? Is it something that is getting them on, the news? Is it something that's being cited? What? Because it just seems like you're throwing the book together a little bit. It does seem a little bit.
And then also, I would like to say, I mean, I've talked to people who've done the Kindle book publishing. It used to be much easier. Now the market's much more saturated. There used to be ways to SEO your way to the top really easily. So it's like, even if Chandler Bolt had a little bit of early success with Kindle publishing, I mean, this is not an author that anybody knows, I guess, in terms of, he probably sold 1,000 books or something like that. I don't know. Do you know how many books he sold with The Productive Person? He's got 200 reviews on here.
I bought the Audible.
This is not
thousand, man. It did pretty well. He was making a few $1,000 a month and paying his bills for it. But that's not a full time. That's not proof of a full time thing. It's seems like okay. Imagine I did this. So I play piano, right? Imagine I put out a little album. I promote it a little bit. I get 2 gigs at some cool places, and then. So it's at the start of a career, right? The start of a career. And then I immediately turn around and go, hey guys, you want to be successful like me? You want to be a big shot like me? Take my $7,000 course on how to be a successful musician. It's wait, I haven't actually really become a successful musician. I maybe have had a little bit of early success, but again, the question is, what have I really done? And then also, who am I to be selling this $7,000 course? How am I really helping you? Is my advice really worth $7,000? It doesn't seem like it to me. I would most people don't pay I would say probably 98% of people pay us $4,000.
$4,000 is still $4,000. That's
right. And so here's the thing. So I love the piano example, right? So you play the piano, right?
Yeah.
I know that was one of the things that you mentioned you taught yourself growing up, right? I did the same thing, but I wasn't as smart as you, so I actually hired I didn't hire my parents hired me a piano teacher, right?
Okay.
So she would come in and I would pay the piano teacher to teach me the piano.
Correct.
Never within that process did I think, oh, I'm going to become Elton John, right? Or I'm going to become the next Mozart. But what I did is that investment led to me, having a lifelong skill that even if I don't make $1 from it, right? I think that the money that thank God for my parents for doing that. I think that was worth it, right? And I think for the people that go through self-publishing school and end up writing and publishing a book, myself included, I was a student, before I worked with us, which is why I wanted to work with self-publishing school, because the book really did change a lot of things for me. I think that the disconnect, Coffee, is that there's a lot of courses out there that promise to farm and that say, if you just pay us this money, we're going to make you, $100,000. And it's the end all be all thing that's going to completely, change your life. Right. We're not really saying that. And we're not trying to say, hey, give us our last dollars and we'll make you a lot of money back. It's a lot of people that are working with us, man, they're 45 to 50-year-old, executives or professionals, or honestly, we call them Susies, that are women that have a lot of things to say throughout their entire life. Totally understand that are tens of thousands of people going to read their memoir? Probably not, right? Probably, realistically, probably not. But
Right.
is it worth it for, like, do they feel like it was worth it to go through that process, save the money, save the time, actually get the accountability to get this thing done, which they probably would not have done either way? A lot
Oh
of them
God.
believe so, and I believe so as well. And so here's the other part. Like calling it a course again is not correct. Like the value isn't only in the course. The course is one of the many components, right?
It seems like what it actually is y'all just kind of like handhold people to finish a book, right? But it's so expensive. People can just get free accountability buddies. Let's go to some of your like. So let's talk about it, because you're like, well, we don't tell people what they're going to be, whatever. Well,
Sure.
your courses are like legacy author, business builder, career fiction, and it's
Right.
like, if you're like, look, this is the thing. If I go to a piano teacher, first of all,
Yeah.
again, it's on like a meeting by meeting basis, which that makes sense to me, because you can evaluate the value, the ROI. You can very quickly figure out what's going on. But y'all aren't like, hey, we're gonna just like kind of help you become a slightly better author. It's,
Yeah.
I want to be a full-time fiction author career by writing and publishing high-quality novels and series. That's
Right.
not gonna happen for people. Maybe for like 1 in 10,000, but let's be realistic. If that's in your marketing and then it's a high price course, people are going to come away thinking, wow, this is going to be like, if I don't get this, maybe I
Yeah.
won't be a full-time fiction author. I want to write and publish a single book life story or memoir that sells well and leaves a lasting legacy behind. See, it's not going to sell well, and you just told me it's not going to sell well. That's fine. But it's like your marketing and what you're saying is not the same thing. Your marketing is like, hey, you're going to sell well, you're going to, you might be able to be full time, all this kind of stuff. But you're saying, well, we're just helping people finish a book. If that's your pitch, that's your pitch. And I have less of a problem with it. You guys are making it seem like it's something it's not. And then you're coming on and saying, well, that's not what we're saying. It is what you're saying, though.
Yeah. So here are a couple of things, right? So like, is it possible to, and like, do we have the system that if you fully go out and implement, can you make enough money through selling books to make that pay for your full-time living? Like, absolutely. We have people that have done it. Our coach, like our fiction.
No. False.
Are they coaching people or are
False.
they selling the book?
Because
and making
no.
money?
Whether an author is successful is entirely contingent on what they're writing. You guys are a publishing school. You're not a writer. You're not a writer. That's like saying, if I'm like a music label and I teach you how to upload on iTunes, well, we have the full thing within our course that if you implement it, you'll be a successful musician. That's not true. Because whether they're going to be a successful musician is whether people buy their songs, and their songs are entirely based on how good they are as a musician, though.
Yeah, how good they are as a writer, and how good they are of getting their book out into the road. You're 100%
No, because
right.
how good they are at getting their book out into the road is like published on Amazon, and right,
No.
like all this stuff is
Wait,
available.
no.
You teach that. You teach that. Is it guaranteed? Do you have a guarantee of like you'll make the money? Like, do you go through
Wait,
step
hold
by step?
on. Multiple questions. So I'll answer one question
Okay.
at a time. So it's like, so on the writing side, so yes, we focus on the art of writing, like how to actually structure a good book. Like that is in there, right? All of our authors, all of our coaches, have written books. They're not just uploading the students' books on Amazon. Like the writing
But
in the
what
coaching,
books
the
though?
writing
What
is
books
most
though?
of it. Like, I completely agree with you. You can't write an awful book and put it out there. Like that's
Right.
not making you look good. That's not going to work. You can be the best marketer in the world, but if your book sucks, then it's not going to do anything, right? However, we can't, like, writing, just like YouTube, just like piano, is an art, right? And so there is a process to becoming really good at that art that takes a while. And
Correct.
so if a person continues to go through that process, like, eventually they will become better writers. Again, we're not saying that anyone's going to become the next Hemingway or the next J.K. Rowling, but we're helping to maximize the
You're saying
potential.
full-time fiction author career, though. That's a big promise in today's day and age.
Right.
Well, you're saying you're not
saying
doing
full-time.
that, though, but it feels like you kind of are. Again, it comes back to the analogy of like, look, if I'm somebody who teaches you how to put your music on iTunes, I tell you, hey, you should promote your music such and such and such. That's what I'm offering. I'm not offering how to become a great musician. And so it would be untrue for me to say, hey, you're going to make a career in music. I'd be like, hey, if you're already a musician, this is what you want to do. Mm-hmm. This seems like a really expensive middle step for people who just aren't disciplined enough to write a book themselves and need someone to kind of like bring them on. But you know that there are free versions of this. Like, you know about NaNoWriMo, I assume, right? Like, so that's obviously like a huge free thing people can do to get their book written. In fact, I have some family members who did it this year and they wrote a book, and it's like, it's a free way to get accountability on things. Highly encourage it.
NaNoWriMo, real quick, is it like volunteer people to like writers volunteering to keep each other accountable? It's a whole community, but basically the idea is you write a book in a month, and you can do that across several things. I mean, the whole thing there is that the faster you write a book, obviously the worse it is, ironically, but it is a way to commit to writing a book. There's so many free ways to do this. And like, my thing is this with like courses, with coaching, all this stuff. Yeah. The marketing has to be honest. You can't claim to be something you're not, especially the more expensive you are and the more costly it is if somebody buys your course and it's not worth it to them. It's got to be really honest about that. Number two, who are you to be selling this thing? If you're selling some thing about, oh yeah, you're going to for example, become a full-time musician, you got to have kind of been a full-time musician. And when I see the self-publishing school, I'm like, oh, Chandler Bolt started self-publishing school when he was 21. It's like, that's so young. He was not a successful author by the time he was 21. Yeah. Maybe he had a book that kind of did okay on an early version of Kindle publishing, but it's like,
so what's your definition of track record? Like successful author and full-time?
So I think if you're like, hey, I'm going to be like the publishing school guy, I think it makes sense to have written successful books that have kind of stood on their own, and people go, oh yeah, that's like Chandler Bolt, right? Like that's that guy who did the book. If you're going to be charging such a high premium, if you want to charge a low amount, I think it makes sense. Like, hey, I was kind of like a small-time author. I did okay, kind of learned from me. That's fine. But you guys are the premium price. Are y'all the highest priced book selling like course, or like y'all are pretty expensive?
Least expensive, like I would say. Like there's some people, like if you look at, there's this company called Scribe. They're like probably our biggest competitor. They charge, I think, like $36,000, $40,000.
I think that's even goofier.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, can I ask you?
I think in terms of like the price point for doing what we're doing, I think we're the most affordable solution. Again, because we're not a course, and we have like people who are
one-on-one
the workshops and coaching, and like we have 40 full-time employees, and it's like, it's a big operation to be able to do and give as many resources for our authors as possible to get them through the finish line. And so
quick question though
goes into it.
Quick question, Pedro. So financially, maybe this is where we can have a clear point of like what counts as a successful career writer. Right. Are they making your success stories? Are they making money selling the book, or are they making money teaching the class? Because you have 40 teachers now, right?
Sure. 40, no, not 40 teachers. We have like 7 coaches. Like there's like people in customer support and marketing, like different. So when I say 40 people in our company, like that's what I mean. But it's like, so sorry, could you say that question again? The
question is when you say that this person's making a career writing fiction.
Yes, sure.
This is J.K. Rowling right here.
Yep.
Is she making money like J.K. Rowling on the book, or is she making money on like I pulled in like 7 other, I don't want to say suckers, that's rude, but I pulled in 7 other students and they're all paying me $5,000 each. Right. And I'm going to go coach them through this or whatever it is.
Sure. So there's like, the reason why we have these 3 different sections, right, is because these are the 3 different definitions of success, right? Yeah. And so the business builder would be someone like, I don't know, I'm trying to just think of someone right now. Well, yeah, those are the people who they have a business, right? And they want to elevate themselves in that industry. And so they write a book basically communicating what
Right.
they know, their methodology and stuff. And for a lot of those people, the definition of success is someone will read their book. And because they read their book, it's more likely that they're going to work with them, whatever products or services they're
Buy
at.
their class, whatever it is,
Sometimes they're chiropractors, right? Sometimes they're doctors, sometimes they're lawyers. Like
Wow.
they have a service that they are providing, and the book just helps them communicate that. So that is one version.
Okay.
Right? Or like book
Cool.
speaking gigs or stuff like that. That is one version. The
Okay.
career fiction author is the person that does want to make their living through selling of books, right? And so that takes a little bit longer. You need to build an audience, right? You need to
Okay. So do we have
build a book
examples?
series. You need to write multiple books for those people.
But
Yeah.
do you
Right?
have? But
Like-
do you guys have coaches who are like that is their
Yes,
full time
that's what
income
I'm
is
saying,
career
Bobby. So,
career
yes.
fiction?
Can we see one? Can we see one? We won't make fun of them. We'll just
Yeah,
we'll
for
just
sure.
see one of these.
Feel free. He's awesome. I'd recommend his books, by the way. Our fiction guy is if you go on Amazon, his code name, not code name. I'm sorry, I'm foreign, so I get these names messed up.
Pen
R.E.
name.
Vance.
Or what
Pen name. Pen name.
Pen name. Yeah.
is what?
No, honestly, dude, I'm a writer myself, and like when I see courses like this, I'm like, ooh, this looks great.
Wait,
And then I see
what? Who's the guy?
4,000
Who's the guy? R.D. Vance.
R.E. Like the letter R, the letter E. Like you know how
Yeah.
fiction authors are. They do like initials. and
Yeah, like
stuff.
R.L. Stein.
Okay, so he's like,
Yeah.
okay, so he does.
So like
fantasy.
he makes a lot of money like from his books, and
Do you
that
know-
and from that place of authority is how he actually coaches our fiction.
Do you know?
students.
Do you know how much, or did like is that even?
Oh wait, he's still
available?
coaching though?
Yeah, no, he is.
Huh.
It
Okay.
it just seems like throughout this. Okay, I hate
What
to
are these
just
numbers
I
like?
just have to be honest. It seems like there's just a lot more money to be made in teaching the thing than actually doing the
Yeah.
thing, and that's sort of how I feel when I see the self-publishing school. And I don't know. It's kind of this weird thing of like. I do think it's cool that you guys have a fiction teacher who's
Yeah.
actually doing it. I think that's very cool. But at the end of the day, what makes you a successful writer or a non-successful writer, it seems almost entirely dependent on like your own discipline. And if you need someone to sit you down and like walk you through this thing, I don't know.
And also, he's still teaching the class. You said, right, Pedro?
Who's that?
He still teaches class with you guys.
Yeah.
But he's not making. Is he making full time living? Sorry, Steven, I couldn't see the numbers there. Like, what are the
Yeah.
numbers like on
He
this?
he is like he's making
is.
like. I don't
And he
know
loves to teach.
exactly
He's getting
what
like I don't know how to evaluate how successful an author is. He's getting like it seems like
you can ask him.
120 to 50 to 70 reviews. It seems like he's getting some reviews. I mean, I'm sure these aren't all
The
fake.
book is okay.
Like he probably makes again. I don't know if I can say this or if I need to and it's a problem. Like please bleep like out. But I'm probably guessing I know he makes around like $10,000 to $12,000 per month, which is like that's what I mean. Like to be a
Teaching the
full-time-
class or selling the
No.
book?
No. He's saying selling the books.
Selling
That's-
books,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is like
yeah, yeah.
again, dude. Like I bring back to the musician thing. Like I'm in Nashville, Tennessee right now, right? And it's like to be a full-time musician, you don't need to be the next Drake or Taylor Swift and make millions of dollars a year. Like you can be a quote unquote successful musician in my eyes and make, a decent living and like a few $1,000s a month, like doing what you love. And like, that's a huge win if that is the thing that you want to do.
Agreed, but it's not. But you guys aren't gonna. I mean, it seems like to me. I don't mean to be insulting, but it seems like you guys are not the difference maker. It's like them putting in the time, them being creative, them doing that, and you guys are like putting yourself in the middle, being like, oh, this is a thing to get you there. It seems like, well, not really. It seems like most of your success is dependent on yourself. So I think the value proposition here is like really weak in my eyes, because it seems like what you guys mostly are is a coach, like an accountability, and you have people who have been there. It seems like more of a community type thing, but to me, and look, if you want to spend $7,000, I mean, people want to spend money on all types of things. When I look at this though, I do see, I'm like, the value's not here. I just don't see it.
It does seem a little bit like you're catching
So
someone's
here are a
dream.
couple more things, right? So what I would say, so we were actually just going over this today. There's three main value probably, like outside of like the deliverables, right? Like you get X number of coaching calls, you get this, you get that. Like there's three places in which I truly believe we help people better than anything else. And I'd love to ask you guys again about like alternatives that you feel like are better, because we love feedback. We love to be able to see like how we can actually improve. Like our program has changed a lot over the years because like we know we're not perfect and we're always trying to get better. Right. So there's three main things that we help people with. Number one is we truly believe that we do help them save money throughout the process. Right. And here's how. I know your eyes are going like, oh my gosh, like what is this guy
My eyes are
saying?
going,
But
save?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, to write a good book, right? Like the reason why you go through a publishing company, right, and give away the royalties and the rights of your book is because it takes multiple people to help you. It takes a cover designer, right? It takes a really good editor. So a good editor, like I love my editor. My editor is like the reason why I think my book actually came out pretty decent, is because we have an awesome editor. There is, you know, the formatting of the book.
You're selling me. I just want to say that. You're selling me right now. I'm a writer. I'm working as a writer. I need to write more. What is this coaching? If you let me try for free, I could. I don't know. But
so Coffee. So here's this. So the way we help people save money with that is that we have a Rolodex of these professionals, right? That because we send them business, they give our students a discount, right? And so like you're going to be, if you want to put a book out there, I don't know about you, man, maybe you're the greatest writer in the world, but like everyone needs that second set of eyes. Everyone needs a great editor. And so we help them save a lot of money on that. The cover, so it doesn't look self-published, right? Like, so you can get a great cover. There's a lot of things on the translation of things. We have translator in the Rolodex. So that's one. We do help people save money within that, right? Number two is just,
but probably not $7,000 though, right?
So again, 4,000 is what 95% of the people pay, but it's a significant amount, dude. Like there are people that have paid, and they'll come to us. A lot of people come to us because they don't know what they're doing, and they have paid an editor $7,000, right? Like it can, like especially if you're writing a fiction book that's 100,000 words, and a lot of times editors will charge you per word. It can get fairly expensive if you don't know what they're doing, right? So for a lot of people, we'll help them save a significant amount just by understanding how to work with an outsource.
So Pedro, let me tell you something. Okay.
Yeah.
So I sense that you want this course to be valuable for people. I sense that you really want it to pay off for people. First of all, I think that's admirable. I think a lot of people don't even care.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something though.
Yeah.
So first of all, let me pay you that respect. You've also been very respectful coming on. I really appreciate you coming on. You have been very respectful. So I want to pay you that. Like I'm not going to change what I said, which is right now, don't see the value here. But if you're looking for feedback, if you want some feedback from me, I would say there's a mantra right now with coaching within all this stuff where it's like, let's charge as much as we can and then basically scale up super fast. Right? This is how you blitz scale, is you put ads everywhere and you have to charge that expensive price because you need these ads to be profitable. You need to scale up this team real quick. And I see a lot of people do that. They try to blitz scale their business. And so they end up charging people a lot of money. What I would do if I were Chandler and you actually want to make a difference for writers, your problem is not that. Your actual problem is, how do you bring down the price? How do you bring down your margins enough, like to where you're still making money, you still have that core team of valuable people, but in a way where you cut out kind of the crap and you figure out what's your thing actually fairly worth. I would say it's not worth $4,000. You got to find out what it's worth and try to price it at a point that for the people who they read the marketing, the insane marketing, they get sucked in and they buy it, it's not a big deal. They don't get those sales that they thought they were getting. It's not a big deal. I think there's a place for paid courses, but it just seems like especially for writing, seems like it's so hard to be a successful writer nowadays. Your ROI is going to be fairly low. It seems like you should try to bring down the price and you could bring in more people, you could help more people. It just seemed it's the pricing that I have an issue with. It's also the marketing, not as aggressive as I've seen with other people, but it is still like you are still going full-time fiction author. You and I both know it's very unlikely. It's just like it's hard to be a full-time musician. It's hard to be a full-time writer. Love that you guys have one on staff, but we know that most of your students are not going to become that. So
can I give you some context on the pricing as well? And I agree, man. Like we're trying to make this as affordable as possible for the people that are within like the people that we want to reach, right? So we used to have, and we do have like lower price courses, like just for the course component. The problem, dude, is that like the success rate is just so much lower.
They don't take it seriously, Steven. They don't take it
It's not that
seriously.
it's not that they don't take it seriously, man. It's like there's this thing called like the shelf of steam or whatever. Like people will buy courses and not use them, and we were just not really cool with that. Like we want to have, and we do have the highest success rate. Like I think right now the number is like 80% of people in our programs actually publish their book within a year. And
4,000, they get it done.
And so the reason for that is because we're like, hey, like, sure, we could probably make more money and have higher margins by, charging less, but like just selling this at scale without the coaching. But the coaching in the human aspect, man, again, just like the difference of you buying a workout plan and having a personal trainer, like whatever it is, we're giving these people a chance. And again, maybe you have the opinion which is like, hey, if you need an accountability coach, you don't deserve to be a writer, right? Maybe that's your opinion. I think that
I just don't think you need to pay $4,000 for an accountability coach. But maybe,
I mean, I bought the audiobook. I just want to say that, Pedro. I already bought it. I can't wait. If you have any internships, any people of color internship, whatever you got, hey, I got a resume. If you guys want to, I'd love to try it out. It sounds great. But I think most people are going to lose their money. It does sound okay. I guess my biggest like moral issue is that how many people are you getting that it's like this is their dream in life? You're kind of eating them for their dream a little bit. And this happens in acting. This happens in all of the you're going to be famous things. Are you getting people like is there that a little bit of like what's your dream? Oh, we can make you.
So here's the thing, and I actually just thought about. I don't know why I mentioned this earlier. So we disqualify people that can't afford our products and services. Like we have an application, right? So we have an application that says, hey, like, are you and do you have the finances to be able to invest, X amount into your book? And then the people that say no, like I have zero money right now, like I'm on unemployment and I'm on my last leg. Like we basically say, hey, like this isn't for you. Here are a ton of free resources that we have.
Wow.
Like, and you can actually use that. Like you can go through that process, man. If you apply, if you go to self-publishingschool.com/apply, and then on the last question, it gives like the price indicator thing. And you put in $0, you'll receive an email basically that says, hey, like we don't really think that this is for you right now. Here are free resources that you can use and still potentially get your book done. Right? Like it just doesn't work, man. Like we're trying to stay here for the next 100 years. And if we scam people for their last dollar, it's not going to work. Like,
I think there wasn't Paula. I know that she has a refund now, but wasn't Paula like saying that she was kind of on her last dollar, or like she definitely didn't have that much money? So I love that you're saying this. I do think you should disqualify people, but in actuality, we have a story of that not happening. And I just want to say, like, you said that we reconnected with Paula, all this stuff. But you reconnected with her because she was causing you trouble. What about all the people who are upset, who they're just not that big of a deal enough to give a refund to?
Well, I truly think that they are a big deal. Like we have, we have our 7 coaches. We have, I think, 4 full-time people just on customer. We don't call it customer support. We call it like student success. Just because those are people that are proactively reaching out to our students. Those are the people that are, having phone calls with folks that like are having trouble and aren't happy. Like we're putting time, resources, and money into having and treating people as fairly as we can. And so again, I think with any business, right? Like there's going to be people that are unhappy. And I think every single day we're trying to do the best that we can to make sure that as high of a percentage of people that work with us as
but to be
possible.
clear, what I was saying is you come on, you say we've resolved it with Paula, but
Yeah.
Paula sent me an email that said, and I'm quoting, "I'm honestly not convinced this would have been resolved if my Medium article wasn't the first result that came up when people Googled self-publishing scam." So when she's saying that, it does feel like maybe even the taste in her mouth was, wow, I kicked up all this stuff, and then they came to me going, we want to make you happy. Would you have really done that if she wasn't that big of a deal?
Yeah.
She wasn't coming on our show.
I think I think so. Like did the fact that she have like those things out in the world like make it known and like put into like, because here's the other thing, again, we're a remote company, and so like there may be people out there like that are in our program right now that are struggling, and honestly it may be a little bit harder for us to get a sense of who those people are. If you write a Medium article that ranks, like it gives us a really good sense of like, dang, like this person needs to be talked to and reached out to. I know you're laughing right now, but like that truly happens.
Well, it just seems convenient. I'm just saying it seems convenient. Whether or not it's true, it just seems very convenient because she says that self-publishing school ignored me for 2 years. So was it going to be 2 years in the first day that you like come on and you go, oh, well, we're going to take care of you now? I mean, you said that you think you would have gotten to her, but it was 2 years. You didn't get to her. Mm-hmm. It seems like, it seems like a problem here. I mean, listen, every business has its problems, but it does seem like there's a reason you took care of Paula rather than, other people, right?
Yeah. And I wish I could bring you inside of our Slack channel. Like we are solving problems for our students every day. Like that's just part of what we do. Do people fall through the cracks? Like sometimes, like, sure. But like we have an entire team that is truly focused on like helping as many people get the result as possible. So
Pedro, you seem like a great guy. Like you seem like such a great, especially last guest I think was Billie Jean. Oh, this is great. This is very nice. We're having a great conversation.
Yeah.
Are you closing them? Like when someone does say I have the 4,000,
no, I'm not an associate. I do partnerships. So like I negotiate like some of the discounts for our students. I get us like we do speaking. We have a speaking team. Like we speak at conferences and stuff, and we buy sponsorships, booths at conferences. So like I'm more of that kind of guy.
Okay, cool.
Sure. Well, it's an interesting talk we just had. I mean, unfortunately,
I'd love to join.
Okay, my mind has.
He does sometimes find the negativity in these things. It's fine. He's
listen.
By the way, Coffee. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Coffee. Can I call you Steven?
That's fine. Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What's up?
Oh no! I just didn't know your name.
Oh yeah. No problem. No. Like I just look at you guys and I just see like, look, seems like this is the real business. The real business is not really in writing books. It's in selling people on how to write books. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what we see consistently across the self-help industry. Look, I'm always happy when people are sort of like trying to make their coaching or course as good as possible. But I just think the marketing, got to take a look at it. The pricing, got to take a look at it. Because this is just, look, it's harder than ever. I mean, writing books, being a published author, being a successful author, it's like the top 1% really makes the money. The top 0.1%. It is like being an actor. And you just got to be realistic and upfront with people on really how likely it is that they're going to make money, really how likely it is that a $7,000 course is going to help them. I mean, I don't know, man. It just seems like a convenient shovel selling scheme.
I see where you're coming from, man, for sure. Like the people that you interview here, like especially on the make money online promises that they're selling to 18 and 22-year-olds who like watch The Social Network and want to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, like you don't have those as students out there for sure. What's that?
You don't have those as students under your business section. I feel like you might have some of those guys. Do you have anyone like that?
I would say most of our demographic is between the ages of 45 and 60. I'm like the exception. I'm that, I joined when I was 19 because I did watch The Social Network and I wanted to be an entrepreneur and whatnot, but I also was raised by, I love books. Like the reason why I'm so passionate, the reason why I'm here right now is because books changed my life. Reading books and writing my book, truly make an impact. And so that's why I took the time to do this. And I know you guys crush people sometimes and it's oh man, I'm not the best debater, but I feel like we could have
doing great
conversation because Yeah, I just see every day people doing something that like they never felt like they could have done before, right? Like 65, 70-year-olds who are like, man, like I really feel like I've accomplished something. So
yeah, and they're financially stable, you're saying, and they just want to have this legacy thing.
again, I encourage you to go through our application and put in $0. Because
what about the internship? Is there an internship box? Because I will take a scholarship.
Sure, you
I bought the audiobook.
Aren't you a media buyer?
Am I a media buyer? No, I write ads.
I thought you ran ads. I don't know why I thought you ran ads.
I do write ads. I have written ads for people, and I am writing ads for people right now. But mostly, I write for TV.
Jeez.
I try. It's a grind, though. That's why, honestly,
listen, you should get a TV writing course, Amish. You should tell everybody how you're a successful TV writer. You should sell how to write TV.
There's that, but also I should take their class and write a comedy book, because I bet a comedy book would be like, those. Even I was telling you, Steven, yesterday, is like it would be great next year for Christmas to have like a How to Not Get Scammed coffee table book, and it's a good book that people could buy. And I wonder if these guys would take us through the process of like do this part, do this.
And again,
I just look it up on Google. What are you talking about? What crazy? Look, it's just all out there. I mean, like
it's there with us the whole way through. Pedro seems very nice. He's calling you every week. He's saying, Amish, did you write your pages?
Dude, Coffee,
I don't want to let him down.
I know you taught yourself piano, right? Like, is that story true that you put in YouTube yesterday? Dude, you are a very smart guy. Like, I tried to teach myself piano through YouTube. I could not do it, and so my parents are like, hey, we'll hire you a teacher. Like,
there's a place for people teaching people how to write. There's a place for like a creative lit class. There's a place for like, hey, here's a workshop on how to publish your book. It's just not worth $7,000 or $4,000. It's worth a few $100s. That's just honestly where I'm at. Why not offer a course version of what you guys do for like $50? And then you go, look, if you want the accountability, you want the coaching.
The finish line.
Listen, you want but you tell people you want the coaching, you want the pay $7,000 because we have to scale it with humans, whatever. But why not get the information out there for just cheap? Because it's infinitely scalable. Why not?
We get the information out for free. Like, that's the thing. We don't even have. Why charge $50K? Or excuse me, why charge $50?
I don't think you should get it out for free. That's fine. Yeah.
Audiobook was $12. I bought it yesterday. Audiobook was $12.
Like a lot of great resources for free.
Then just sell it as, hey, we're just gonna be behind you every step of the way. If you're the type that needs every step of the way coaching, that's what we do here.
Right.
That's just not what I'm seeing in my marketing. That's what you're telling me, and I appreciate you telling me this. It's just not the marketing that I'm seeing. Make the marketing line up with the real value of the course. I hear you. We walk people through it. We get people to write their books. That's fine. Sell that. Don't sell full-time fiction author or stuff like that. Just sell, hey, we get you to write your book. We'll sit there. We'll force you to do it. That's fine. That's an offer. You make the offer, they buy it or they don't.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, man.
Okay. Well, sure. I mean, I'm just saying that's what I think you should do. And until then, I think my opinion is not going to change. Pedro, thank you so much for coming on. I do think we appreciated how respectful you are.
Thanks,
You're very different from Billie Jean, and
you did great. Honestly, with all this, hey, I might have to start a Kickstarter and see if I can raise $4,000. I didn't say I'm thinking about it. I might start a Kickstarter. We might get the class. I don't know. But I did get the audiobook. And we'll see.
I appreciate Thanks, what you guys do for sure. Like, I'm a big fan. My friends and I always have a racket with y'all. But yeah. And if there's ever anything else like that you guys want to discuss about, like, I'm an open book. I love having these conversations. So
cool, man. Great talking.
Dude,
yeah. 100%. A little writing coach.
See ya.
Okay, see ya.
Good day.
Peace. Amish, I think I'm gonna fund your Kickstarter. I will.
I'm just trying to get some coaching sessions. Just see if I can get a couple coaching sessions for free. You know. Okay. So
what'd you think?
I think okay. So is he 19? He is young. He's into it.
No, I don't think he's 19 anymore. He was 19 when he started.
Anymore. Yeah, he got in young. But
what you guys think? I enjoyed that he was at least respectful. He kept it. Whatever. I look. My opinion is strong. Amish is flip-flopping around. I mean, Amish might go start his own course.
They're in a gray area, aren't they? He defended himself well. They're in a gray area, aren't they, a little bit, or no?
Bro, no. Listen. It's not worth $4,000 to have someone sit there with you and make sure you write your book.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
The piano example that he's using, where he's like, okay, you pay a piano coach $50, whatever, $100 an hour.
Right. $50 or $100.
Right. So what if a piano coach said, I'm going to, the promise is too far. I agree with you on that. You can't promise you're going to be a creative fiction writer. It's not possible. You can't control it. So for them to say, hey, you're going to be J.K. Rowling, you can't control that. J.K. Rowling can't control that. J.K. Rowling can't make sure her next book's going to be a big hit, let alone like, oh, I teach a class now and I'll make your next book a hit. Like you can't. So I agree with you on that. They're promising something that you will never be able to do, that they can't promise you, really.
Right. It's like saying full-time acting career. Look, we'll just replace it with acting. A full-time acting career is possible, and it's easier than ever before, but you must treat it like a business, and in this school, we're going to teach you how. And it's a $4,000 course targeted at people with no money, because as we know, authors and actors, not going to have much money, Amish.
Okay, one more defense of him, though. One more defense. I know you hate this right now. But I think they are getting a lot of rich old people who are like, I'm old, I did everything. Yeah, I'll pay them. Like, who cares? I'll pay $4,000 for a thing.
No, they're getting a lot of. So I think they are probably getting that, and they're also getting a lot of young people who are like, yo, I'm going to be a successful author.
Well, the Paula thing was great that you brought. That he's like, no, we always get it back, and we're always nice. And
yeah,
like,
Paula emailed me. I know. I held it back. I knew he was going to do that, so I just like held it back. I was like, yeah, go ahead, tell everyone how great you treated Paula, and then we'll read her email to us about you.
Such a nice guy that he's not doing the
2 years later, they're taking care of a refund. Wow. And we would have gotten to it. We would have gotten to the article. That's the part where so the guy is super respectful, but it felt a little manipulative when he's like, we would have gotten to it. Because then I was like, wait, you're just not being honest, because I know for a fact you would not have gotten to her if she was not causing you trouble.
She had an article, and did she have like blue hair or she had her hair colored, right?
No,
that's
I thought
scary.
It was brown.
That's when someone comes after you writing articles on a major website. It's like, hey, code red, give her the money back. So they got scared after 2 years because she got some traction.
You know what? Paula should make her course $4,000. How to always get a refund. It's about like, okay, here's what you're gonna do. First, you're gonna publish to Medium. Then you're going to contact Coffeezilla. Then you're going to go and you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do.
Yeah, no, she got her money back, man. It's like a job to get your money back, eh? She had to call you, she had to call those guys. Like it took like 3-4 things and they gave her the money back.
Yeah,
like,
no, I do think it's different. Look, I think the 40-year-old example is a great example of like, I don't mind if a 40-year-old's buying this course.
Right.
What I mind is that when the marketing promises too much, you guys know it changes whether the course is worth it or not. If it's, hey, you're an old fart, you never thought a book was possible, we're going to make you, crap out a memoir that nobody's going to read, but it's going to sit on your shelf for old grandpappy and maybe mom and your son and your grandson. That's great. No, there's a place for that. Seriously, honestly, honest to God, there's a place for that. Don't you kind of wish your parents wrote a memoir? It's like a cool way to remember them, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
But just market it honestly. Market it in a way that is, and also get the right prospects. Anyway, that's how I feel about it, and I'm not changing my mind. Amish is flip-flopping, sliding this way, that.
No.
You're taking the course. You're taking the course.
It's funny. Honestly, I'm not going to pay $4,000 ever in my life for a goddamn course.
Kickstarter.
But the Kickstarter, look, if the money's raised, no. But the interesting thing too, the very manipulative tactic. What a great guy to do their damage control, because I promise you, the closers are so aggressive. It's just Trump on the first video we did. Yeah. Even James Ray Arthur, and we got to finish with James Ray Arthur because he's a great example of this too. On the marketing material, great guys, good writing, very sweet, very nice, and Pedro, great guy. But then if you got on the phone with one of the closers, I think they'd tell you like, hey, I can make you a writer in 6 months. Oh, you'll be famous. Haven't you always wanted to be like J.K.
I don't know. We don't know that for a fact. Let's not say that because we don't know that for a fact. They could be different from every other sales team. Okay. Okay. So how about they could be different from every other sales team?
How about I do fill out the application, but I fill out the application as someone who's hit hard times. I have $4,000 and, I think this could turn things around, and I could go in like that. Get on the call. Let's see what happens.
Maybe you should do it. I'm a
Scammer, yeah. Gonna rip you off, take you down.